Hello, I'm Chef Vivien, French chef. Today, shortcrust pastry. It's one of the basics of the French kitchen, and the French pastry is the shortcrust pastry. It's something I'm doing since my very strong youth, about 4 or 5 years old. It's really easy and it's so tasty, very natural. So I advise you to make it in your house instead of buy it. It's basically only 3 ingredients: flour, butter and egg, and a pinch of salt. And we are doing with this many pies in France, from tart with fruits, quiche. Oh, it's very useful. We make a little tart, we make chausson, we make many things with this. You can transform it in sweet, you can keep it in salted. You can do, it's very versatile. And it's a natural base for all types of pies. So if you used to do pies, do this recipe. There are 2 bowls of each ingredients, because I will show you the way with a processor and the way with hands if you don't have processor. And you will see, as processor or by hands is really quick. Food processor. We take flour with these knives. We put the flour, we put the pinch of salt. The all ingredients will be written here, but basically for 8 people, the base is really easy, that flour and butter. Every time butter is the half part of the flour. So you remember this and it's okay. After eggs you will see, depends of how much flour, of course. But every time butter half part of the flour. So salt, we take the butter. Butter, it's at not cold, not hot, room temperature. And we mix. It will be less than 30 seconds. After 10 seconds, all the butter is completely like flour, like sand. I had 10 seconds to really mix all together, and I have this kind of sand, and it's the time to put the liquid. I say the liquid because if you don't have eggs, you can put water in the same proportion. It's better with egg, it's even better with only yolk. Usually in the school we used to put egg yolk and a bit of water. Usually it's what we're doing. But if you are in the house, you can use a full egg. In this way you will have a little bit more elastic dough, which will be easier to roll on, because it will be more, the white part of the egg will give this elastic thing. It's it's my own experience, this. But believe me, it's the truth. And after you can go to egg yolk and a part of water. But for the first time, 1 egg. 1 egg that we will mix. Okay. In this case, in the food processor, I could put it full and not mix it before, but I don't need the whole egg for this amount of flour. That is why I make an omelette and I will add my quantity. So now I can add my egg, and you will see very quickly it start to make a ball and it's done. I already have my bowl of dough. What I have to do is just to check if it's all texture okay and to form the ball. Because now the only thing is that the dough have to rest. So here, as you can see, there is a bit of butter, a piece of butter. A bit of butter is whiter than the rest of the dough. So this we need to make really homogeneous. So that is why we will fraiser. So fraiser is this action. Press and come back. Press, and this will make that all the remaining little piece of butter will be completely incorporated in the right way in the dough. And that's all. The dough now can have a rest at really minimum half an hour, but I really advise you 1 night is better. This usually we do a bowl, we do a disc, you put it in a film, and it go to fridge for half an hour minimum, or better a night. Now we'll do the same thing but by hand. So we take the flour. You can do it in a big bowl. It's easier directly on the table, very clear of course. And now it's a technical geste how to make a fontaine with this flour. You put your hands like this and you just turn it like this and you have a perfect fontaine. The first thing what we're gonna do with hands, I advise you to substitute a part of eggs with a bit of water to dissolve the salt that we will add. Because in the processor it's completely mixed with a knife, but by hands better to put a bit of water with the salt. So we put the salt. If not, salt will not be dissolved in the dough. So it's not a big problem, but you will have some white point after resting your dough, and you will think, oh, what's happened? It's not so big problem, but it's better and the right way to do this. Salt and water, and like this you dissolve your salt. Why in water and not, you can say, why you don't put it in the egg? Because the salt will cook the egg, will cure the egg, so it's not the proper way. We wait a little bit. In this time you can weight your butter, you can make your mix of eggs, and it will be ready. When I was young, in my house we were making the dough. Instead of butter, we put the cooked cream of the milk. When you buy raw milk to the farmer, you boil it and to kill all bacteria and so on. It's raw milk, so you need to boil it, and we take all the cream. It was a big amount of cream, cooked cream, and we use it instead of butter, and we make all our dough with this. And it was very tasty. A different taste, more elastic dough, but it was also tasty. I think it's okay. Yes, so now we put the butter. When you do it by hand, it's better that your butter is really at room temperature, not direct from the fridge. Otherwise it will be difficult. And we also can put our egg. Because this is short crust pastry, this one is pâte brisée. Because in French we have 4 short crust pastry, which is pâte brisée, this one, the more simple. The pâte sablée with some more butter, sometimes some cornstarch, almond powder, etc., etc. So it's just for dessert. We have the short crust pastry sweet, so the same like this, but with sugar, which will be pâte sucrée. And the last one is pâte à foncer, which will be more simple with even less butter, which will be for salted pastry, like pâté en croûte, like to make some old style starters with usually some farce, some stuff inside. Tourte, and so it's pâte à foncer. So in French, short crust pastry means pâte à foncer, pâte brisée, pâte sablée, pâte sucrée. So today is a simple one, it's pâte brisée. But this you can use for salty, for sweet, apple pie, French apple pie, you can do it with this. Tarte tatin, you can do it with this. For a meat pie, you can also use this. So keep this recipe really in your mind. So now the target is, I have a liquid, I have powder, and I have butter. The target is only one, is to put all this together as quick as you can. Why as quick as possible? Because otherwise the dough can break herself. That is the name of this dough. It's a French paradox. Pâte brisée, it's like dough broken, because if you work it too much, it will break. So we call it the default of the dough. It's a French paradox, okay. You do this. The liquids try to go, but I already stopped the process up. And our dough is quite finished, as you see. Now we just make a ball, and with the same dough you take what is remaining like this. So now the dough, it's, by the way, it's more time to explain than to do it, as you saw. And now the same process like it was with processor, just fraiser. And now it's really, really important because we did all this by hand. So to kill the little remaining piece of butter. So this part of the hand, press and go there. And as you see here you see some butter. We break it. And the same. And if it's a good texture, when you come back, it takes the dough and your table stay clean. And the dough, it's homogeneous. You form your ball. Magnifique, ready for the fridge. So the same, you need to make it rest in the fridge with the film. Of course, when you do it by hands, it needs also a rest. And half an hour will be, the dough will be better by hands with half an hour than the food processor with half an hour of rest. Why? Because we stress and we develop a lot the gluten with the food processor. So with the food processor, we can say it's better 2 hours, better 1 night. But with hands, you can use it. It's more easy to use it after half an hour. It's possible to use. It's also good 1 night. But it will be more possible by hands after half an hour. Our dough had the rest for 3 hours. Now I exited 10 minutes from the fridge because it was very, very strong. So now it's a little bit more tender. I put some butter, a lot of butter in this very, very old mold, which made many pies in my family, and these more modern cycles. And this way I will show you the 2 ways to put the dough in the form. Flour, and with the flour we will fleurer. In French we have a word for this. To put flour like this, we call it fleurer. A bit of flour. So now we roll out our dough a bit like this, a quarter, you turn the quarter, and once again you take some flour, you can add if necessary like this, you turn, you roll out. After a while you can turn it. Here you have a bit of more flour and other side less. And now we check the size. If this will be all around, I need to do it a bit more because I have the height to fill also. Because we need to make border as well. As colder you can work, as better. So just how to put it into the mold. You roll it and you roll it here. This way. Really important is take the dough and put till the angle, till the bottom of the mold. If you will make a quiche and you don't make this step, it will be a problem because the liquid will cut the dough and you will have no quiche. Like this. Okay. Now you have two options, or you cut with a knife, or you do a little border like we do in school. So you take a little amount of dough, you push it inside the tart, the pie, and you push, you cut, you push, you cut, you push, you cut, you turn, you push, you cut, you turn, you push, you cut. And this way. Efficient and quick. I cut, and I cut. Voilà, I have only this good balance between dough and which dough left. And now we make like pins like this. So now with your finger you do like this. And it's finished. You need to make some little holes in the bottom of the pie. Not too strong if it's a liquid that you will add after. And this can have also rest for half an hour in the fridge. Also it's good. Before putting the stuff and after in the oven. Now I will show you for a circle. So it's the other dough. You cut your dough, and now you take delicately your dough and put in the center, and delicately make it fall inside the form, inside the circle. Once again, think about the angle. And you have a perfect tartelette ready to cook, ready to fill, or ready to cook. We call this to cook in blind, to cook without anything and without any filling. So for this you need to put a little paper, baking paper, and some beans, for instance, some cheap beans, in order to put a weight on top, and the border will stay in this place, and the tartelette will stay in the nice form, nice shape. Voilà, so usually you have this kind of beans. I'll show you quickly. You have this kind of beans. You put the paper delicately inside your tart and put some beans. Don't forget to, after making the form, making the shape, to have a rest the dough, and after put your beans, okay? So for the baking, you will look about the recipe. If it's quiche Lorraine, for instance, it will be about, you will start with 210, 220 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, and after put down at 180 degrees Celsius for more 20 minutes. So all together, usually a pie like this, it's about 35-45 minutes to cook in the oven. If you cook in blind like this, and if it's not too big, it will be 160-170 degrees for about 20-25 minutes, depending of the dough. If it's no sweet dough, no sugar dough, it's this. If it's sugar dough, you need to slow down the fire because it will be caramelized quicker. So you need to adapt in any case. Another word about this dough, it is good. You make this, you have a bit of this, you have this, and you make a new ball. You keep it in a plastic bag. You can freeze it with not any kind of problems. And you can keep for 1 month, 2 months in your freezer. There is no problem. After you remove from freeze, put in fridge, and in 1 day you can use it as a fresh one. So it's very convenient. If you have just a little bit of dough like this, maybe it's not necessary to freeze it, but it's also not necessary to throw it away. You just take some sugar, make a little roll with this with sugar, and when you will cook your tart, in the side, you cook some very nice biscuit for your kids. Just a bit of sugar instead of flour, you cut and you cook. You can go to see the quiche Lorraine video and check the recipe, do it in your house. Now you can write comments and put a like to this video.